Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I have Alex here from Star Wars Explained, and we're sitting here in Stockholm ready for the Death Star capture event, and we thought we could do some top 5 lists. So we've actually already done one for his channel, so make sure to check that out. But now we're going to talk about our top 5 Star Wars games. So I guess I'll start off with number 5. My fifth game is actually Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which I played on my old Xbox. It was a great way to follow along the story in that movie, and I just love the mechanics in it. There's a lot of things there that they never add in new games. Like I remember one animation where you could you cut off one arm, cut off the other arm, and then you did a 180 and stab them in the stomach, and you could do that on like Obi-Wan, Anakin, anyone basically. So
it's dark.
Yeah, exactly. But the graphics were really like kind of bad, so it didn't look so dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why they never add that in the new games, because that's like they had to be child rated and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
I feel like we're gonna say this a lot, but I have not played that game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna say, maybe the same way.
So my number 5 is Jedi Power Battles, even though it is an admittedly terrible game, and I just played through it for the first time in like 10 years, and I played through it with a friend, and we were like miserable the whole time because it's so hard, but not because of like it's a challenging game. It's like the mechanics are bad. Okay. It's just a bad game.
Is it like a console or a PC game? Or?
It was on PlayStation.
Okay, 2?
But no, 1. Yeah, it was 1. PlayStation.
Oh, that old?
Yeah, it's that old. But we both had such fond memories of it. Like, we were so excited to play it again. And even though it was a rough experience, I still remember it fondly, and it was still fun to play through, and we had a good laugh, so I'm gonna throw it on the list.
Yeah, I can admit I've never played that game either, so...
Don't.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so my 4th spot is The Force Unleashed, the first game. And I have to admit that I haven't played that many Star Wars games in general, even though I run a Star Wars gaming channel. But that was one game that really stuck with me, both the storyline and the mechanics. For me, it kind of nailed how force powers should feel in a game, where you could just use for the combine, like you can just throw someone up in the air, use some force lightning and just throw them away like a bomb or something. Mm-hmm. And of course the story about Starkiller is really interesting, how he goes back and forth between light and dark, and how Darth Vader tries to like tame him. And yeah, have you played them?
I have played the first one. It's been a long time, and I think I mostly, like, I was trading off with a friend as he was playing through it, so we would take turns. But I mostly just experienced it for the story. But I do agree the gameplay was a lot of fun, very cool. The force powers are really great. But yeah, I think Starkiller and his story were one of the best things to come out of it. And it was one of the bummers when Legends became a thing.
Yeah, but I can understand that. Like, if you can pull down a Star Destroyer, it's kind of like
way overpowered.
Yeah.
But it's like, I get it. You want the player to feel as powerful as they can be. It's more about the gameplay than fitting it into the story and the universe in the right way. I don't think they were thinking about that when they made the game, so true. It's fine. My 4th was Pod Racer. Did you ever play that one?
Nope.
Oh yeah, that was the episode 1 one. It's basically why pod racing was in the movie. I think was so they
game came. Oh, okay.
The game came out with the movie, and I think they were very merchandise conscious when they were making episode 1, but in this case, it worked out because Pod Racer is a really, really fun game. I tried to play that again recently, too, and it's so hard. I used to be really good at it, but it's so fast and impossible to keep up with. But
is it on PlayStation 2? Or?
I think I played it on PC originally, but it was like N64, PlayStation, that era. It might have been PlayStation 2. I can't remember. But it was in that, like 1999 when episode 1 came out.
Okay, cool. So my 3rd spot, and now we're on to why my channel is called Battlefront Updates. Is actually 3rd spot is Battlefront 1, the original, because, well, I guess it's easier to explain why Battlefront 2 is higher, and that's because although I think the maps and some of the fond memories I have are better from the first game, they took so many things from the first game and made better for the second one. I guess I'll get into that more in on the second spot, but yeah, Battlefront, I've always liked shooting games, and that's why I haven't played that many other Star Wars games, because it's quite recently that my Star Wars interest has kind of peaked. I haven't always like been super interested in Star Wars my whole life, which is why I haven't played as many Star Wars games. But shooting games got me into Star Wars, I guess. Like I played Battlefront 1 and 2 in 2014. No, I mean 2004 and 2005 when they were originally released. So yeah.
Yeah. Other than the newest Battlefront, I had never played. I think I played a little bit of Battlefront 2, but it was like in the middle of college, and I just didn't have time to play them. So I need to go back and play 1 and 2 because I haven't done that.
Yeah.
My third, I'm going even older. I went Super Return of the Jedi. So when I was growing up, I never had a console. I had a Game Boy. My friend down the street, the same one I played Jedi Power Battles with, he had all the consoles. So I just got like Game Boy games. And I remember Super Return of the Jedi being a lot of fun. So you got to like play through scenes that you didn't get to see originally, like Leia as Bosch making her way to the...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she would make her way to Jabba's palace, and then you could fight through the palace. But you could play each level as a different character, which I thought was really cool.
A little bit like the Lego games-ish.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I think you could unlock characters as you went, kind of like the Lego games, but that one... And the rest of the Super Star Wars games were a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. I've never played that either. So it seems like so far the only game we have tied on is Force Unleashed. That
that's
both
the
have
one
played.
we both played.
Yeah, exactly. So my second spot is actually Battlefront 2, and I'll explain why I have the newest one on the first spot later. But yeah, because it improved so much on the first game, like heroes, a ton of more maps, like just more smooth gameplay. Although it was still a little bit clunky, but it was just. Everything was improved, and I think heroes is basically the biggest thing, because seeing the heroes in the first game and not being able to use them was kind of frustrating. But now you can just play like, I don't know, 20 heroes or something. And also the modding scene kind of stepped up with Battlefront 2, where there's just mods for everything. You can, if you know a Star Wars character, there's definitely a mod for it, and a planet or just everything, which is why I prefer that over the first game.
Yeah, I went with the newest Battlefront. Mostly because of, like, I think it looks amazing. The sound design, like, immediately takes you to being in Star Wars. Like, you really feel like you're in a Star Wars battle. And I guess maybe, like, it got criticism for not living up to the other two, but since I never played the other two, it like, to me, it was great. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to play all of the DLC, but I'm going to try to go back and do that because I have the season pass. I just need to go back and do it. But at least I'll get to play the Death Star DLC tomorrow.
But I think it's really nice to get an opinion from someone who haven't played the old games, who just judged the new game for what it is. Like, so it's good to hear that you like it.
I mean, I've loved it, and I think they know how to pull me back in by making Biggs a playable character. So
yeah, for sure. All right, so. My first spot is actually the new Battlefront game, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, the old games were better, but to me, they were not really. I mean, I played them a lot on my Xbox when I was a kid, but I think, considering I have like 300 hours of playtime on this game in less than a year, kind of speaks for itself, and that's not because, I mean, I have to play because I make videos. I mean, most of the time when I play, I just play with friends because I like it, and even after the Battlefield 1 beta, I was like, I want to play Battlefront instead. It's just a game that fits me. I totally understand if people prefer old games, but for me personally, I prefer when it's a little bit more, I don't know, COD-like. It's not kind of a bad word, but I like when it's kind of casual, but you can still be quite skillful.
Yeah.
So you can just jump in and play. I mean, the old games were like that as well, but it's just something about the new game. They took, like, the way heroes work are absolutely fantastic, in my opinion, with all their abilities, unique traits, and all that kind of stuff. So. And of course, I can't deny all the opportunities that have been given thanks to that game. I mean, traveling out in the world, of course, that increases my thoughts about it.
Well, you just traveled down the street for this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's like for flying to the US for the first time and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to go to E3.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I totally agree with, like, I'm not a hardcore gamer, so the casualness of it is actually kind of a selling point to me, that it's one of those... easy to pick up, hard to master kind of things. Like, I see you play, and I'm like, you would eat me alive. But, I mean, I can get into the middle to top tier, I would say, fairly quickly. I think I'll probably get destroyed tomorrow, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, like, it doesn't have the same like entry level as a Battlefield game or something like that. It's easier to get into,
Yeah.
but it can still be very skillful. Just look at people like Tesco. I mean, he can just destroy anyone. So it's not like there's no skill involved either, which is why I like it.
Yeah, my number one was I don't know if you played this one, Dark Forces.
I have not.
Yeah, specifically Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight. You were talking about Revenge of the Sith and like cutting arms off and stuff. Like you could do that in this, but it was even older, so it probably looked even less violent.
Yeah.
But to like a 13-year-old who loves Star Wars, that was so cool. And like I've replayed that game, and it's so cheesy, but like the nostalgia factor again is it's wielding a lightsaber for the first time. That was like the first game that you got to do it in 3D, and then it felt really cool. Like you would block the shots and you could slice arms off. And the mechanics, the first-person shooter, you'd probably like it. I think it aged fairly well.
Was it released around some movie, or was it just separately?
No, it was separately. I think it was the first one was in like '93. I think this
okay.
one was '96 or '95. So it was kind of in that dead point where no movies were coming out.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess it sounds like a game that I should check out, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to like get into the old games if we get some time and just play them through.
Yeah, I mean they're like $5 on Steam.
Yeah, I think I already have them probably.
Yeah, I do too.
On the Star Wars pack thing.
Yeah, I have all of them, and I'm like, I'll play you one day.
Yeah. All right. So we actually did a top 5 bounty hunter list on on Alex channel, and if you're not already subscribed to him, make sure to check him out. He makes like lore videos about everything: old characters, legends characters, new characters in the movies, a little bit of speculation as well sometimes.
Occasionally.
Yeah. So make sure I'll leave a link to both the video we did and his channel in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.